So Katt come from across the room and punch Dipset X in the face, dumb hard. off instinct, just instinct, I grab Katt, flip Katt upside down, it's slim Katt.
Cameron, come on, bro. We only met a few times. And one of the times is a night that you talking about in Philadelphia, that you slammed my man on the ground and you did all the crazy, wild stuff. You had one of them Soldier Boy stories. Well, remember, I was there.
You won't believe this. Hearing Cameron spill the tea about how he supposedly body slammed Katt Williams back in the day was definitely not something I had on my 2025 checklist. And trust me, this isn't even scratching the surface of how wild this story gets. Cameron's been grabbing headlines nonstop after he opened up about this throwback drama where Katt allegedly tried to square up with one of Dipset's guys. According to Cam, things escalated so quickly that he felt he had no option but to jump in before it turned into a full-on brawl. And the way Cam paints the picture, he makes it sound like he swooped in, superhero style, scooped Katt up, and tossed him around like he was lighter than a couch cushion.
Katt Williams was dissing you all night. You was the nigga that I was talking about. He kept kicking you out the room. You kept trying to run in and get your money. Get the fuck out. Get the fuck out. He kicked you out at least 7 times that night. Katt Williams fired his DJ that night for playing too much Dipset, and you kept sneaking in the room trying to get...
The way he tells it, breaking things up was so easy it felt like separating kids in a schoolyard fight. But hold on, because Katt wasn't about to let that narrative fly. He straight up called Cam a liar in public. Katt said the story did not go down like that at all, and that Cam is leaving out some very important details. Katt claims he actually pulled out a little pew-pew during the altercation, hinting that things were a lot more serious than just a scuffle. And just when you thought it couldn't get any spicier, Cam fired back at Katt for calling him a liar, making the drama even thicker. Cam basically said if Katt wanted to take it there again, he knows exactly how it would end. And trust me, the way Cam said it had people clutching their pearls. Now, you'll already know how messy it gets whenever Katt is involved in any story. This is the same man who's roasted entire rooms of people without even blinking. So, if you think this is just going to blow over quietly, think again. This is one of those Hollywood tales that's about to snowball into memes in
at a concert in Philly. And I go to this concert, and my friends that's Dipset, like I said, these aren't Jewel's Jim or Zeke anybody, it's just other members. I don't want people to assume that it's them, but it's other members. They were there, and they were the Katt Williams concert. So after the concert, we go in the locker room. We get in the locker room, and Katt is in there, he's just going off on everybody. Not me, like his staff, the other comedians, etc.
Interviews and endless clapbacks. Cameron's show, Talk with Flea, had been slowly building momentum for months, but it catapulted into the mainstream spotlight after Cam dropped this jaw-dropping tale about his past run-in with Katt Williams. What made the revelation hit so hard is that it finally shed light on the real reason Cam and Katt's friendship completely unraveled. According to Cam, the truth behind their fallout had been buried for years, and now he was ready to spill it all. Here's how the story allegedly went down. Cam, Katt, and a crew of guys, mostly Dipset members rolling with Cam.
I'm like, damn, somebody done fucked up. So I get there, we get in the locker room. He gives me an envelope that has $30,000 in it. He like, yo, killer, good looking, man. $30. I'm like, Katt, I ain't come for your money, man. I don't want your money. He like, Cam, take the money. I love you, it's your money. I'm like, Katt, I'm not taking the money. He said, fine, you don't take the money, I'll give it to him. No, I'm gonna take the money if you just gonna eventually give it to somebody. That same night he gave Beanie Siegel a Lamborghini. It was Little Mo, I believe. Little Mo, he gave her a Cadillac truck. I'm like, oh, this is on generous time.
We're all chilling backstage during one of Katt's comedy shows in Philadelphia. And this wasn't just any era for Katt. At that time, he wasn't only the hottest comedian lighting up stages across the country, he was also dipping his toes into the rap game, trying to solidify himself as more than just a funny man. Believe it or not, Katt Williams was dead serious about launching a rap career by linking up with Dipset. Yep, you heard right. The king of comedy wanted to swap punchlines for punch bars. And crazy enough, people said he actually had skills. Word around the circle was that Katt could spit some surprisingly solid verses, which made his interest in Dipset sound less far-fetched. Plus, he and Cam already had a personal bond and mutual respect, so on paper it looked like a natural fit. But according to Cam, the timing couldn't have been worse. See, Katt tried to jump in during a stretch when Dipset was already fractured. The once unshakable brotherhood was unraveling under egos, internal beefs, and old grudges. Cam explained how Katt was rapping and hyping things up, even stirring conversations with guys Cam wasn't on speaking terms with at the time. Cam remembered telling him, "Hey, Katt, chill, it's all love. Don't bring up what was said behind my back." But Katt wouldn't let it go. He pushed back, saying, "Cam, you want me to tell you what they said when you weren't around?" That tension only made the night heavier, and Cam admitted he didn't just want to walk away, especially since Katt had already handed him $30,000 for no reason. For context, Dipset, also known as the Diplomats, was a Harlem-based rap collective founded in 1997 by childhood friend Cameron and Jim Jones. Later joined by Freaky Z-Key and Joel Santana, the crew became a cultural force with their signature sound and street dominance. By 2001, Cam had secured a solo deal and brought Dipset to Rockefeller Records, paving the way for their legendary debut album, Diplomatic Immunity, in 2003. They were at their peak back in the early 2000s, but by the time Katt tried to jump in, the cracks were already showing. What should have been a smooth collab turned into pure chaos, sparking a chain of events that destroyed any chance of Cam and Katt keeping their bond intact. Like with so many legendary rap collectives, success brought its share of drama. Cameron and Jay-Z's tension eventually boiled over, leading Dipset to part ways with Rockefeller. After the Messes split, they signed with Car Records and dropped Diplomatic Immunity 2 in 2004. But by then, the cracks in the crew were already visible.
Nick, the room is leaving. Beanie Siegel's leaving. Lil Moore's leaving. I'm like, it's almost time to get out. He's yelling in their face again. I'm like, is that necessary, Katt? He said, yeah, it's necessary because you don't know what the f*** he's saying. I'm like, this is kind of crazy. So then, about 10 minutes later, Katt Williams comes over to me. He's like, yo. And I guess I'm not naming the names. He's like, yo, let's just call him Dipset X. He says, hey, yo, Cam, I think Dipset X farted on me. And I'm like, farted on you?
Artistic disputes, business disagreements, and oversized egos were pulling them apart. They regrouped in 2010 for a reunion due to fan demand. But by 2025, long-standing issues between Cam and Jim Jones finally erupted, marking the permanent breakup after nearly 28 years together. So, when that infamous backstage moment with Katt Williams happened in Philly, Dipset was already walking on shaky ground. The brotherhood wasn't what it used to be, and the energy was fractured. That made it almost impossible for Katt to slide in and chase the rap dream he was envisioning. And on that particular night, Katt was already coming in hot. According to people who were there, he walked backstage after his comedy set looking visibly agitated. Nobody could quite pinpoint why. Maybe it was something that happened during the show, maybe it was Dipset's vibe, or maybe it was just one of those nights where tension filled the air. That's when things started to spiral. Words flew, tempers flared, and before anyone could reel it in, the clash between Katt and Dipset turned sharp. Witnesses said Katt's mood was beyond foul. He was on full-blown tirade mode. He wasn't just upset. He was pacing the room, yelling, pointing fingers, and going off on anyone in sight. His band, his crew, Dipset, nobody was safe from the fire. Cam even suggested that maybe Katt's anger was tied to his frustration about wanting Dipset membership, but never being officially embraced. And then came the strangest twist of the night. In the middle of all that chaos, Katt started accusing people of farting on him. Yes, you heard that right. He was walking around the room asking, "Yo, did you fart? Was it you? Did you fart?" Cam admitted he was sitting there thinking, wait, has this happened before? Is this something Katt usually flips out over? The whole scene was bizarre, But Katt wasn't letting it go. Instead, he doubled down, barking at his own drummer, his comedians, even his tour staff. It was like he wanted to verbally burn the entire room to the ground. Cam let it spill that Katt went completely off the rails that night. He claimed Katt was so heated, he actually fired his own drummer right on the spot. And it didn't end there. Katt allegedly kicked a couple of the comedians off his tour in the same breath. One of those comedians, none other than Red Grant, who at the time was Katt's closest friend and right-hand man. Yep, the same Red Grant who had been riding for Katt for years suddenly got told to pack up and bounce. And remember that little detail, because it's going to circle back later. After cutting ties with his own people, Katt's fury shifted toward Dipset. According to Cam, Katt started calling out members one by one, questioning their loyalty, their music, even their relevance. But then the night swerved into absolute chaos. Out of nowhere, Katt began ranting that someone from Dipset had farted on him. Yes, you heard that right. Cam said Katt went full Soulja Boy story mode, interrogating people like it was some kind of crime scene. He was staring people dead in the eyes, demanding answers, and he wasn't joking. Katt was furious, treating a fart like it was the ultimate act of disrespect. Cam painted the scene like it was something out of a comedy sketch-turned thriller. Katt was pacing, pointing fingers, and even threatening to handle whoever the culprit was. Things escalated fast when Katt allegedly punched one Dipset member in the face over the accusation. Instinctively, Cam said he jumped in without thinking, flipped Katt upside down, and slammed him to floor. He swore it wasn't about hurting Katt. It was pure reflex, trying to stop the madness before it got worse. But the story only got crazier when Cam revealed he had actually lost $30,000 in cash that Katt had given him earlier that same night, all during the scuffle. And just when you think the story couldn't get stranger, Cam claimed the room was so cramped, smaller than someone's living room, and filled with nearly 50 FOI security guards who rushed in as things spiraled. Katt, still raging, allegedly barked at Cam and the Dipset crew to get out, making the whole situation feel even more surreal. It sounded less like a backstage spat and more like a full-on movie scene. But here's the kicker, not everyone's version lined up with Cam's. Witnesses started sharing their takes, and suddenly the story fractured into multiple sides. That's when Katt himself stepped in and lit the internet on fire. He blasted Cam publicly, calling him a liar and accusing him of leaving out crucial details. According to Katt, Cam wasn't some fearless hero. Instead, Katt claimed Cam was actually scared and even pulled out a pew-pew to calm things down. In Katt's words, the only reason Cam had the chance to slam him was because he chose not to escalate it. He said if he'd reacted, things would have gone much differently. To top it off, Katt teased that other comedians like Mark Curry and Red Grant could confirm his version of the night. And of course, Red Grant didn't waste any time chiming in. He hopped online and straight up clown Cam, laughing and saying, "Come on, bro, stop lying. I was there. Funny face boy, cut it out." Red roasted Cam for spinning tall tales of clout and reminded him that he was already doing great in life, so there was no need to drag Katt's name for attention. Social media went crazy. Some fans swore if Red said it didn't happen. Then it didn't. Others accused him of covering for Katt. Either way, the memes, the comments, and the clapbacks were unstoppable. And of course, Cam wasn't about to just sit back. He snapped back at Red, saying, "Why would I make up a story this bizarre? Who even brags about body slamming Katt Williams over a fart? That's not clout, that's just facts." Cam wasn't letting up for a second. He doubled down hard, saying he had zero reason to lie and that the truth was bound to surface. He even hinted that more people from that night were still keeping quiet, daring anyone to bring forward actual proof. He clapped back like, who in their right mind would sit around and make up a whole fart story just to push a narrative? Cam painted the picture. Who's really imagining a fake scuffle over a fart just to contradict me? The energy was wild, and social media latched on instantly. Now this entire fiasco has turned into prime-time entertainment online. Twitter, X, is flooded with memes. Fans are posting Katt in a detective hat hunting down the fart culprit. Cam's clips are getting edited with WWE body slams and Law & Order intros rebranded as SVU Special Fart Unit. Over on TikTok, people are reenacting the alleged backstage chaos with dramatic acting, exaggerated sound effects, and wild commentary. Some viewers are riding for Cam, saying there's no way he'd lie about something this ridiculous. Others are backing Katt, arguing that he's lived through enough chaos in real life to not need a fabricated story. Meanwhile, whispers are spreading that there might actually be backstage footage from that night in Philly. No one has seen it yet, but a few blogs claim it exists. Mark Curry, who was supposedly there, has kept suspiciously silent, and people are waiting for him to break his silence. Cam, though, isn't playing games. He dared Red Grant to leak the recording he swears he has. And in pure Harlem fashion, Cam roasted Red, calling him Katt's boy, basically implying he's nothing more than Katt's loyal tag-along. The petty shots had the internet cackling, because even mid-beef, Cam's jokes cut sharp. And here's where things went from messy to explosive. Word spread that Cam was furious over being called a liar online. According to people close to him, he was so heated he allegedly threatened to pull up on Katt if that tweet calling him a liar didn't get deleted. Just like that, a goofy story about farts snowballed into a potential real-life showdown. Fans went crazy, flooding timelines with takes. Some said, Cam knows what he's doing. Katt's hot right now. This is all promo. Others pointed out, these stories are decades old. Everyone remembers it differently, especially if people were drunk or high. Still, not everyone was sympathetic. Some dragged Cam for even entertaining this beef at his age, calling him corny and clout-chasing. But others reminded folks that Katt's track record is full of outrageous situations, so maybe Cam's not too far off. The debate is split straight down the middle. Team Cam versus Team Katt, with Red Grant playing a hype man and other witnesses still ducking the spotlight. The real question now is whether this burns out as just another silly Hollywood story or if it levels up into full-on diss tracks, interview rants, and possibly lawsuits if things spiral out of control. Either way, this beef isn't slowing down anytime soon. This is one of those moments where the online drama feels way louder than what's actually happening in real life. But it still leaves everybody questioning, who's really stirring the pot here? Is Cam the one fanning the flames just to keep eyes on him? Should he have left that dusty old story about Katt in the past? Or did Katt push things too far by flat-out calling Cam a liar and pulling Red Grant into the chaos? And here's the million-dollar question. Do you all actually see this turning into a real feud? Are we talking interviews, diss tracks, maybe even that elusive backstage footage finally leaking online? Or is this just another messy Hollywood saga that'll burn out once the memes stop hitting the timeline? Because right now, nobody can tell which way this storm is heading. So now it's your turn. Let us know in the comments. Are you riding with Team Cam, Team Katt, or Team, this is just too messy, I'm only here for the laughs? And if you've been entertained by this roller coaster, make sure you smash that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on the bell so you don't miss a single update. Trust me, this industry never sleeps, and we'll be right here breaking down every twist and turn.